Democrats hit on, he's a loyal person. He's loyal to his brother. But his brother made some mistakes. His brother could have made a mistake with respect to the actual hit because they did know it was coming. And George Tenet, the head of the CIA, told them that it was coming. So they did have advance notice, and they didn't really work on it. Now, that's something that could happen. It wasn't that I was blaming. They said that our country was safe under Bush. I said, well, what about the World Trade Center coming down and the worst attack in history? But the statement was our country was safe under his brother.
All right, you know what? I just wish that this whole conversation would go away and anything Donald Trump could help to do to make it go away, because Republicans, both running for the presidency and, most importantly, elected officials, need to be taking on the Democrats right now. And Obama, Stephen Moore is here, senior fellow with the Heritage Foundation and former senior economic writer for the Wall Street Journal and co-founder of well, tell us the name of your great group with you and Steve
the
Forbes.
Committee to Unleash Prosperity. We're ready to rumble on this debt ceiling.
I hope so, because this is insane.
Yeah.
And people, you know what, it's buried. No one even knows what's going on.
Trillion. They want to raise the debt ceiling by another trillion. The Republicans, I mean, this is a bipartisan conspiracy. We can't, the Republicans and Democrats and President Obama want to get this past 2017 so the voters don't pay any attention, don't look at what we're doing behind this curtain.
Yeah.
But we are paying attention. And damn it, $18.2 trillion is way too much debt. And to add a trillion, look, if you're a household and you go to the bank and say, you know, my finances are in trouble, you know, I need a new loan. Then, okay, here's the new loan. They're going to say, okay, how are you going to restructure your spending and your debt and so on? We're not doing any of that.
Right.
So I'm pissed.
Take more
I'm
money.
pissed off.
Yeah, well, you should be.
Because John Boehner, you know, I don't know, he's going to make a deal with the Democrats apparently, and everybody's going to be happy. They'll whistle Dixie.
And then he'll leave.
Yeah, and then we'll have $19 trillion, and 20, and 21,
all right,
and 22.
So you, I mean, you've talked to these guys, and you know Washington. Why are they on board with Obama? Why don't
because
they
they're afraid. Republicans are in the fetal position. They're afraid of Obama. They won't. This is why Donald Trump and Ben Carson and Carly Fiorina are so hot, because the Republican conservative voters want somebody who will fight in Washington against the liberal big spenders. But you know what? I hate to say this, Steve. I know this will come as a shock to you. There are a lot of Republican big spenders. They like to play Santa Claus too.
Yeah, no.
That's why they want to raise this debt ceiling. My God, we have a Republican House and a Republican Senate, and they're not going to do anything to restrain this debt?
Okay, so talk about the real implications of this. What does it mean? I know it means that our children are going to be left with a bigger per person, you know, financial burden. But what does it mean for you and me right now?
First of all, let me tell you what I favor.
Yes.
Okay, yes, it is true. Jack Lew, the treasurer, is right. We do have to raise the debt ceiling. Absolutely, or else we wouldn't be able to pay our bills. But we ought to do that in combination with real spending cuts and reforms, right? Again, this is what a private household would do if they went to the bank. Basically, Obama and Boehner and Harry Reid are saying, okay, just give us an extension on the credit card. It's $18.1 trillion overdrawn.
And it's a winning message, because every family could relate to the fact that if they have to.
Well, you have $175,000 worth of this debt yourself, Steve, and you and your family, and I have $107,000. I mean, my God, it's like a second mortgage for every family in America.
Right, and people look at that and say, that doesn't mean anything to me. But if you say to people, you know, hey, if you go to a bank, that the example you gave, or if you are on a budget, you have to cut things out, cut down, don't eat out as much. They understand that.
Right.
All Republicans have to do is go to the microphone and say that. But like you said, they're afraid.
And now a lot of Democrats say, well, let's just not have a debt ceiling at all. Let's just,
right.
And I think that's crazy. I mean, and by the way, they'll say, oh, but we should just pass a debt ceiling. Clean debt ceiling. There have been 2 or 3 major reforms in the budget process for the last 30 years. One happened under Ronald Reagan. Remember the Gramm-Rudman Act? That was part of the debt ceiling. When we had these Budget Control Act ceilings, that was a result of the debt ceiling. Now they're saying no, nothing, no reforms.
Bernie Sanders, who wants to give
pissed about this.
I know you are.
I can't believe it. What do we elect Republicans for?
You can say that on TV, though, right?
You got it.
All right, Bernie Sanders. He's mad at everything, but he wants to give away the store. But he recently said, he admitted that he will have to raise taxes on the middle class.
Yeah, an honest liberal socialist, whatever he is. What's the difference?
Yeah.
But he basically said, yeah, if you want free health care, free family leave, free free college, free prenatal care, all that stuff, you know what? We're going to have to tax. We can't just tax the top 1%. And bravo for him admitting
because
that.
It won't be enough to run the
it's
country.
not going to be enough.
Yeah.
So he said we have to raise the payroll tax on everyone. Now, what's the point? You mean they're going to take money? And by the way, I pay 15.3% payroll tax already. I don't want to pay more
Right.
payroll tax. I want to pay less.
Right.
This is one of the most regressive taxes. It hits every single worker right in the pocketbook. You know this, Steve. We've talked about this on your show. The first time you get a paycheck, you're like, who's this FICA?
Right.
Who's FICA? Who's
Right.
taking,
And he
7.5%?
stays around for a
Now
long
FICA
time.
wants to take more out of your paycheck.
more. I
So
know.
there's an honest liberal. If you want the government to give everything you want,
You're
they're
going to
going
have
to
to
take everything
pay.
you've got.
Right, because
Yep.
nothing is free.
Right.
And Hillary maintains it is
But
free.
he says,
and they
oh,
all-
this would be great because we'll be more like Sweden and Denmark. Sweden is moving away from socialism so fast. They've cut their death tax. They've cut their corporate tax. They're getting rid of a lot of these welfare programs. Why would we, Steve, want to be more like Europe? Why?
I hope
Do
you
they
know
want
that-
us to be more like Greece?
I hope you know Donald Trump real well because you belong in the Trump administration.
Trump is right about
when he
this, by the
wins.
way.
I know.
He's right
I
on
know.
this one. I don't always agree with him, but he's right on the debt ceiling. Got to fight these big
Stephen Moore,
spenders.
ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back with Caroline Glick, Jerusalem Post.